Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Rhonda Farrell bringing you Spotlight on Success 2025, Week 30. Today, we're talking about Lead Like a Futurist, Strategic Foresight for Everyday Operators. And our theme today is anticipating change before it hits the inbox. Again, I'm Dr. Rhonda Farrell, the CEO of Global Innovation Strategies and your success strategist. We're talking today about leaders who only react are all great, and leaders who forecast, they get to shape the game. Why does this topic matter now, and why does it matter? Why is it so important to you as you move forward into the future? Because most business leaders are focused on quarterly KPIs and urgent fires. The real success stories of tomorrow are being written today by those bold enough to look 5 steps ahead. Strategic foresight isn't reserved for think tanks and futurists in black turtlenecks. It's a practical, learnable skill that empowers operators, solopreneurs, and executives alike to recognize patterns, anticipate disruption, and proactively design the future they want to lead. Whether it's AI reshaping your workflows, new regulations changing your market, or generational shifts redefining customer expectations, foresight is not a luxury. It's your competitive edge. So we're going to explore today what strategic foresight really is and isn't. We're going to talk about trend spotting and signals of change and how to look up from your to-do list. We're going to look at how scenario planning helps you with business resilience. And we're going to examine innovation pipelines for non-innovators. So what is strategic foresight? Well, strategic foresight is the disciplined practice of imagining possible futures so that you can prepare, adapt, and most importantly, shape what comes next for you and your organization. It's not about predicting the future. No one can do that. But it's about expanding your peripheral vision and stress testing your assumptions. The key elements of this are environmental scanning, scenario development, implementation, implication mapping, and backcasting, and that's moving from future to present. So in our second area, we want to trend watch without the hype. Not every trend is worth chasing, but the good ones leave signals. And that's where understanding the signals of change are so important. For trend spotting, you can use tools like Google Trends, Gartner Hype cycle, or newsletters to stay alert so that you do not become overwhelmed, but you can keep your eye where the puck is, where you are skating to where the puck will be. And that's exactly what we want to be talking about today. You don't want to skate where the puck already is. That's not going to get you ROI. It's not going to get you value. Or if it does, it's going to be de minimis. Where what we want to do is look 1, 3, 5, 10 years downstream and skate to where the puck is going to be so that you can make the goal. Because that's what trend watching and monitoring the signals of change will give you. Successful leaders scan the signals of change because they want to future-proof their decisions that they're making today. So you might ask, well, what are the signals of change that are more than likely important for me to be cognizant of? And that's shifts in customer behavior or sentiment, new legislation or policy shifts, emerging technologies that are gaining traction or being incubated. So if you can look at that early seed investment companies to understand the technologies that they are developing, or even if you can examine patents, right? The as much of an eye towards the patents that are moving through the pipeline. That's where a large amount of focus will be. So it starts in the research, right? Research papers, kind of the dark web pipelines of under the radar, early stage financing and venture capital, patent work, et cetera. And that's not only domestically, that's globally, right? So we really want to be looking at research that's going on in technology labs, research that's going on with academia, those integrated belly buttons across the globe where commercial and academia and governments and nonprofits are collecting in order to invest in new emerging technologies. That's where you can invest early and often to be able to get the higher return. Either you're going to find an entree, or you're going to want to invest in those entities, or as a market, if you will. You'll also be wanting to watch the emerging technologies that are gaining traction, the new legislation or policy shifts, because oftentimes those are being done in parallel. That technology is probably leading the legislation and policy shifts, but you'll see both of those occurring in most cases. And again, domestically versus international, you can look at who's leading and who's lagging for investment, partnerships, joint ventures, et cetera. Then resource constraints around those emerging technologies or legislative and policy change, labor, supply chains, digital bandwidth. And then we want to understand the global cultural undercurrents, the trust that's occurring in the institutions, the trust that's happening in our technologies, climate, migration, et cetera. So again, in addition to Google Trends, Gartner Hype Cycle, there are newsletters like Future Today Institute, et cetera, that really help you keep your eye on the ball. So the next area is building a scenario plan. So we're not doing this just for scenario planning sakes. We're doing this because each plan will help you identify blind spots, assumptions, incorrect and correct that you and your organization are making, and resilience gaps that you might have. So you can plan a scenario in 4 questions. You can ask your organization and your teams, what if the future is better than what we're expecting? Do we have a trend line for that? What if the worst case scenario were to hit tomorrow? How are we going to handle that? What if a competitor rewrites the rules, i.e., completely disruptive innovation? And lastly, what if we had to reinvent our business model in a matter of weeks, days, or months? What would we do? So again, you're looking to find out if your organization or your team has a blind spot, to stress test your assumptions and to strengthen your resiliency and adaptability. The next is creating innovation pipelines. And I don't know how you could possibly do this, but even if you hate the word innovation, I personally love it. That's my heart space. Just know that you do not need a shiny innovation lab. You just need a repeatable, very scrappy process which allows you to collect frontline ideas, that allows you to test very quickly, that allows you to kill weak ideas fast, and allows you to scale what works. This mindset works in startups, governments, manufacturing, and even nonprofits. Again, 4 scrappy, repeatable process steps. Collect frontline ideas, test quickly, kill weak ideas fast, scale what works. So a reflection challenge for today is, what signal of change have you noticed but perhaps have not acted on? Is it a shift in client needs? Is it a new technology tool? Is it a generational expectation that you're not meeting? Ask yourself, why have you noticed it but not explored it or not taken action on it yet? Our action challenge for this week is to draft your 2030 vision sketch for your business or your particular role. We don't want you to aim for polished and perfect. We want you to start now, start messy, and really build on it as you go. Include, what do you think your customers in 2030 will be expecting at that time? What technology and tools will you likely be using? What new skills or amplified knowledge and skills will you need, both for yourself and your organization? And what parts of your current business may become irrelevant? Share this with a leader, an executive peer, a leadership peer, a peer manager, a peer SME. What feels exciting to you, and what really drives fear in your heart and makes you feel uncertain in your gut? That's the place you want to start, because that's likely where you have the biggest gaps. So our thought for this session, the future isn't waiting for you to finish your email backlog. Start scanning, start sketching, and start shaping what's next for you and your organization. Your partners, clients, and most of all, your team will thank you, because the businesses that thrive in 2030, they're already practicing foresight in 2025. Again, this is Dr. Rhonda Farrell, the CEO of Global Innovation Strategies, your success strategist, helping you anticipate change before it hits your inbox.